I'm Seth Gardner. This is my beautiful bride, Heather. We have...
Did you pay him to say that?
I'm right.
Yeah, funny story how we met. Neither one of us are really social media people. However, we had both created an online profile on Christian Mingle. She had put all of this thoughtful time writing out these very wonderful answers to these questions, and I had written nothing except I try to be a good man, and I had no pictures of myself.
No pictures.
So anyway, I came across her profile and I felt like everything that she had written, I could have written myself. And so I wrote her this, long email and just kind of introducing myself. And she wrote me back this very thoughtful reply. And so I said, wow. So I said, hey, look, I don't mean to keep you in suspense, just to let you know who you're talking to, here are a few pictures. And so then she always loves this because the first picture I sent her was a picture of me, my dad, and my grandfather.
I just knew it was the old one that I was talking to. Like, I just knew it. I was like, that's why I like him so much. He's lived life,
We dated, and then I couldn't let her get away.
Good man.
That's right. And so we've been married 7+ years, and we have 2 beautiful children together. Abram, who is 5. We have Lily, who is 3. And yeah, I would say they're the joy of our lives.
So growing up, I really saw a lot of harshness towards people. Visitors weren't welcomed like they should have been. People would come in really wanting acceptance, and it just wasn't given. There was not a whole lot of love granted. It was very closed off, and you either fit in or you didn't. As soon as I had an opportunity to make my own decision, I fell out of the church because I said, if this is how church is, I don't really want to be a part of this. When we got married and brought our children into the world, and we saw what a huge responsibility we had, we both knew, coming from Christian backgrounds, like we needed to plant the foundation that he and I both had.
She and I both really felt the call to come back and to live that Christ-centered life. And that's when we started looking at churches. And at first, we really became online and radio listeners. I mean, constantly we're taking in messages and sermons and growing and talking. But as far as church, we had toured several churches, and so Second Baptist is the one that we settled on.
Coming into Second, we immediately, as we walked in the door, were greeted, and who are you guys? What are y'all's names? And immediately, all the nerves just kind of went away, and I was like, oh, this is so nice, like, not used to this. Man, as soon as we went and sat down, and the Becks just took us in, and it just really I felt so comfortable. And it's always hard walking into church for the first time in a long time. And of course, the service was wonderful. So I think that initial walking in was just welcoming, loving, how kind everyone was.
And there wasn't a single Sunday that she and I didn't walk out of that auditorium and say, wow, like we were just fed, we felt revived, prepared for the week ahead. When you look at Second, everything that they're involved in, just like investing in these new facility upgrades and all that kind of stuff, it's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, it's a partnership. So yeah, we couldn't be happier with our choice.
Oh, and our kids love it. Our kids are excited to go. They're singing the songs. Abram comes back and tells me what he learned. And
the church and the parents, like a partnership, again, going back to that, like the work that we're doing at home is just continually being reinforced at church.
How long did you guys watch online before you came to the building?
Yeah, I would say quite a while.
Yeah.
And I started looking at schools for my son. I was making phone calls, and I ended up speaking with one of the members, which is Miss Delana Reynolds. She is the one who invited us to church. That's when we started watching. I told you about seeing the video of you and Pastor John riding around and singing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. We watched several different sermons.
A few months, I would think, before.
What's the difference between watching online and being there in person?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
I love being there. I just the music.
It's a different experience. You're meeting there physically with other believers.
The connection with other people.
You can watch the sermons and whatnot online and certainly take away from it. But when you're there and you're listening to it, it's a totally different impact. My work sometimes pulls me away on Sundays. When I don't get to go, I definitely feel like I missed out. So we're Dave Ramsey people. I love Dave Ramsey's biblical approach to investing. So it is my hope that my gifts will be applied to just the facilities upgrades efficiently and expeditiously, And so that way, those funds then that I continue to give will not only assist in that manner, but also just then continue to further the work of the mission of the church and just loving on other people, blessing them. So we have been involved in a small group, and we have met some wonderful people, and we are continuing to develop those relationships and those friendships. In our minds, like, we're putting down roots. These are going to be lifelong relationships, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. And going back to the facilities upgrades, you know, like, I had invited a friend to church. I was like, yeah, just come through the main entrance. And Heather and I were waiting on her, and then she's like, okay, I'm in the main entrance. Where are you? And I'm like, I don't see you. And so she had come in through like the front of the church, and then she couldn't find us and stuff. But I think the facilities upgrade, you know, having everything centralized is just going to be great. It's going to build community. It's going to build that brotherhood, sisterhood, because we're all going to be there together.